Hey, what's up, everybody? It's HTG Brian live on Halloween. What? That's right, it's Doomsday, World Series Day, NBA Cup Day. There's a lot of things going on today, so hopefully you're celebrating in some way or another, or maybe multiples. I know I am. But welcome to the Game Break. We're going to talk about things past, present, and future HTG, which is mostly me. If anybody from the team ever wants to share anything, they're welcome to pass it on. Like pictures that maybe have been concocted from AI or things as like, something like that. Everything good? Sound good? Visuals good? All the background good? What do we think? What do we think? Repping my Doom shirt on Doomsday. For those of you who don't know, or maybe missed earlier stream, today, unfortunately, 5 years ago, we lost MF Doom, a very popular rapper, and he was one of my favorites. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us. However, they've deemed today Doomsday for multiple reasons, and they had a drop this morning, and I've actually got a new action figure. I almost called it a minifigure again, a new action figure, and I'll be sharing that with you guys later. Some really cool New York Knicks gear was released. Not a New York Knicks fan, but still pretty cool stuff. So big time shout out to everybody in the chat. I see everyone's chatting pretty good right now. Thanks for making it, Bobby. Glad you made it, even though you forgot. Is it Armalite? Welcome. The average, the usuals are here. We got Rob out there. We got Mike out there. Uncle Jay, what up? We got lots of people. So thanks for making it. I know, like I said, today's a busy day. Lots of things going on between trick or treating, whether you're, a parent taking your kid, or you're a kid who wants to go, or maybe a little bit of both. There's lots going on today. So jumping right into things, let's go ahead and first off, let's talk about the YouTube stats. Thank you so much for your support. This is actually last month's stats. We rocked at 22,000 or 222,905 total. You can see we had about 750, just under 750,000 views through 750,000. As I've been talking throughout the month, this month took a big hit. So these numbers were pretty good, but they were actually had fallen off a little bit from the previous month. And this month we had a new milestone, 223,000, creeping up on 224,000, which is crazy to me. But we fell down to 675,000. Still a lot of views. So thank you so much, guys, for supporting and watching, whether you're watching the new stuff, the old stuff, or a combo of both. Much love. You guys are keeping my dream alive. And couldn't be more thankful. You can see watch time 32,000, which was a little bit less, 39, about 7,000 hours. If you think about it, it's quite a bit of hours, but still tons and tons of support coming in. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that. YouTube's been a little buggy the last couple of days, not only for me, but for others as well. Hopefully that'll get rectified here in the coming months. Usually they're changing things up, doing things. So hopefully it'll get gooder sooner than later. What do you guys think of this background? Is it a win? Is it an L? Is it what do we got here? There's a lot going on. A lot of dancing pumpkins, a lot of orange. There's a floating pumpkin. There's some flames, some candles. Pretty decent, I thought. I mean, I didn't put a ton of effort into it, but I mean, I see Kirsten's made it too. What up? Daniel's out there as well. What up, guys? What up? Jay's back. Halfway, aka Pig. Has your family asked you about that yet? Have you got to tell them that why we call you Pig? I mean, it's pretty embarrassing or whatever. Unlike some pictures that were sent to me earlier, which I really want to share with you, but I made a promise that I wouldn't. So, almost done with Lego Harry Potter. Nice, congrats. No clue, not yet. What up, Jackson? Welcome to the stream. All right, so like I said, I'm going to keep things pretty short and sweet. I know everyone's busy, including myself. So I'm going to just jump right into it. As per usual, I know this is boring for some. There's a couple out there that appreciate it though. I got a little bit of a change, just a tiny bit of a change to my car this month. So I'm going to start off by showing you a picture of what it was, and then we'll get to the picture of what it is. So here's my front badge. This is the front of my car. The Volkswagen emblem was pretty dominant. There's a weird shadowing over the back just because of how reflective it is and whatnot. But I've been wanting to do something different with it. And I saw something online a while back, and they sold them, and I bought some stuff from the company that sold them, but I opted to not buy the upgrade I wanted. And as it turns out, they had to quit selling it because it was copyright infringement due to the Volkswagen logo. Oh, snap. Armalite, what up? Thanks for the $8 super chat. You heard of Teen Titans? Did you know the voice of the Beast Boys has Parkinson's? I did not know that. Appreciate the support, though. I have heard of Teen Titans. I'm not very familiar with a lot of the voice actors and such, though. Um, so I talked to my son's boss, who's done a ton of work for me. Most of the tinting and headlights and all the protection has all come from him. And so I talked to him. I said, "Hey, do you think we could make this happen?" He said, "Okay, get down here. Let's measure it. Let me see if I can get in the lab and figure this out." So again, we got the measurement. This is what we had. This is what we ended up with. So this is freshly applied before we put the paint protection over it, which added a bunch of gloss to it. It's shiny. It's not a matte or anything, but it doesn't quite look this way once you put the PPF on it. As you can see, look how it like tamed it. It sort of like calmed it down. So it's a little bright. Obviously, the lighting is a factor as well. But I am extremely pleased with it. It's exactly what I wanted. And it literally only took the guy like 25 minutes to whip it up for me. So probably shouldn't be talking too much about it because he'll probably get a cease and desist. I didn't pay for it, though. I didn't pay for it. But really cool stuff. Like, it really sets off the front end of the car. I mean, again, it was chrome, and now it's black and blue. So, it sort of gets lost from a distance, but I don't mind that at all. It just sort of sets off the front end of my car. And like I said, I am extremely pleased with it. So again, big time shout out to my guy who does all my vinyl work, not somebody else, which funny story. Let me tell you a quick little story. So I met this guy who became my son's boss, because I went to a shop that I had been going to that wasn't able to provide a service that I wanted. And so they said, "Hey, I can't do that for you, but there's a shop right around the corner that'll do it for you." So after like 4 or 5 visits with these guys and paying them money to do different jobs for my different cars, actually, because they did work on my GTI as well, I went to the new spot and I met the new guy, right? And I haven't gone back to those first guys since. However, there's been a couple of times where I've brought him up, and whenever I mention the guy's name who referred me, it like triggers my son's boss, and not in necessarily a bad way, but it like activates him. And so now it's become like this running joke. And like I almost, to be totally honest, I almost dressed up as this guy, and then went to the shop. Because it would have been so hilarious. I was telling Reese that too, and he's like, "Oh, dude, you would have really pissed him off if you would have done that." But not really, but like it would have been a funny like jab, right? I thought so. I almost did dress up today. I almost dressed up as my previous vinyl wrapper, which would have been hilarious. But anyways, let's see here. If you haven't already, please smash that like button, not only for the stream, but for the super chat as well. Show some support for the support. Love to see it. Russell's Ghostface. It's a great time. Okay, appreciate that. Mike's actually seen it in person. Should have said, no, I'm not dressing up as Byron. I am Byron every day. All right, so this month was a really crappy month for me. I got a little bit of a cold, which didn't really slow me down or hurt me too much, but the cold transitioned into a sinus infection. And the sinus infection ended up being like one of the worst ones I've ever had. As you guys know, if you've been following the channel for a while, I often get sinus infections. I have to take a ton of Sudafed and sometimes antibiotics. This time it led to antibiotics. And, there's this spot in my sinuses that if it happens to be the area of infection, it swells up and it actually will shift my teeth a little bit. So sometimes I barely notice it. Sometimes I can really notice it. This time it was so bad, it actually affected my bite. So basically I have my front 2 chiclets, right? The 2 big fatties in the front, and then the 2 teeth on the sides, right? And then you got your inside. So the 2 teeth on the sides of the big fatties, one of those, it went from like butted up to the teeth, like normal and straight, to like this. Like, I was telling my wife about it, and she, like, I don't think she really believed it was that bad. I mean, not that she was, like, second-guessing me, but, like, just talking about it, like, she probably thought I was exaggerating a little bit. And I kicked my head back and opened my mouth, and she went, "Oh, my gosh, you need to go to the doctor." I was like, "See, I've been telling you, I can't barely chew right or anything." So we didn't do a whole lot this month. We did actually end up going over to my mom's, kind of right as I was getting off my sickness. We actually, and I was transitioning into my sinus infection. We went over there and stayed a couple nights. Actually, no, we only stayed one night. We stayed one night. And it was to celebrate my mom's birthday. Her birthday was on the 13th, so we cruised over. We were actually going to go the week before, but Jillian and Reese were both fighting that cold that I think I ended up getting, so we had to postpone it. And so I was a couple days behind them, but was well enough to go the following week. And I told my mom, "Hey, I got a sinus infection. I'm sure of it." And while I was there, we reached out and did the doctor thing online, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, you definitely have a sinus infection. I'm going to get you some antibiotics." So I started that, and I got all the way through my antibiotics. I was on the last day, and I still hadn't felt much of a change. So I hit him up, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not feeling much better, but I'm definitely not worse. What should I do?" And they said, "Come in." So I actually had to go to the doctor, and that was not fun. And of course, it wasn't my own doctor, so I had to explain a bunch of things, and they had to look at my charts and all that stuff. And ultimately, they basically said, "Here's some more antibiotics, but I don't think you need them. Only take these if you get worser." That's right, I said worser. And I didn't. I actually got better. Each day, I'm still like, I would say I'm probably like 97 to 98% back to normal. My tooth is shifted way back. I can tell it's still not back to where it was before it started, but like each day it gets less and less and less. I was telling Mike the other day, I've had this sensitivity kind of in my tooth canal that leads up to my sinus. And it's getting better too. I've been worried, like I'm thinking I was gonna have to have a tooth pulled, and I was gonna have a very noticeable hole, which is still a possibility, I guess, but hopefully not. So, like I said, this month has been definitely a terrible month in that regard. I just have been down more than I've been up. I spent a couple of those days with the sinus infection. I took streams off. It was so stupidly ironic too, because like the day before I was congratulating my son and saying like how awesome his streak of work has been and how he hasn't missed any work, and how, you know, as a kid at his age, I was terrible. I missed a ton of work all the time, calling in sick because I was partying or stayed up too late playing video games or whatever the case was. And I was like, you know, maybe my work ethic. And I was like, I barely miss any days. Like I never miss. I'm like, even when I'm sick, I'm here because I have the ability to not get other people sick. And so I often will fight through it. And then like the very next day or 2 days after that, I had to take a couple days off. So I felt pretty stupid about that. But anyways, the beach. Let's talk about the beach. We went to Salishan, which is a part of just the backside of Lincoln City, which is one of the more touristy places to go to the beach in Oregon. Obviously, we have our whole left coast is all beach. Some are a lot more fun to go to. People probably heard of Astoria because of Goonies. You know, that's a fairly popular place to go depending on the time of year too, because our beach time in the winter is not like California beach time. Like, you know, Kirsten's got it pretty nice down there. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the weather is really good, and it doesn't really, even on a cold day, it's still beach. You don't get in the water, but you can still go to the beach and hang out. There's usually sun. That's not the case here. Now, not always. LA, I know, has rain. It does rain down there sometimes too, but anyways, ultimately, we had a blast. I see we got a couple comments coming in. Do I stream on Twitch? No, I have not streamed on Twitch in like 5 years. How did you get those cool pumpkins and the way they're moving? Magic, Brian P. Magic. Armalite, hopefully I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm botching the name. How was Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, and what are your thoughts on the 7 characters? I don't mind the 7 characters at first. It was like, what? But then when I saw some breakdowns of other people's stuff online about, you know, like most of the games have like 100 characters or 200 characters, and ultimately you get probably 15 or 20 of those characters during the story, and then all the other ones are just, they're just there. Some of them don't even have any powers or abilities. They're just there. And I saw like this chart. It was like a video, and it was like all the characters of a game, and then all the characters that are basically useless, and then all the characters that have duplicate powers, and then all the characters that, you know, are thrown in just for fun. I see Greg out there with the Ninja Smoke too. When it broke it down, like, it made a lot of sense to me. Like, I don't need a lot of character abilities, and for what they're going for, sort of matching the Arkham games, you know, along with all the history of the lore of Batman, I guess it makes sense because there's only a handful of playable characters in the Arkham games, so they're sort of mocking or mimicking that, and it'll probably be a little of both because, you know, Lego likes to throw jabs and have fun and a lot of humor. But hey, I see Scrap Metal out there too. What up, man? But yeah, so ultimately I had fun with that. But all right, beach. There's my ma and my wife, and Drex is pulling me with the or long lead. Of course, most of you guys know Drex is an amazing dog. He listens pretty well unless we're out in public and he gets triggered by like a bird or a rabbit or another dog or a bicyclist or so. There's definitely like a laundry list of things that trigger him, and he becomes non-responsive. He literally checks out and will not come back. So even though we're on a private beach and there was nobody else out there except for us, well, that's not true. That's not true, because we did run into another family with some dogs, and you guys will see those in a minute. You guys are, I know Kirsten for sure is going to be like, "Aw," because it was a pretty cuteness overload moment coming up. So prepare for that. I had my model with me, Reese. You could tell he looked like he's having a blast, doesn't it? He, we kind of forced him to go with us. So I think I shared this with you guys the other day that we were there on a Saturday, and unfortunately, Sunday there was a family swept out by a sneaker wave. Now that actually happened. If you were to go straight across the bay there, past those boats over to the other side of land, and then follow it down to the left, it was right there. Like literally, right, like 300 yards down from where this picture was taken is where that actually happened. Super sad. And it wasn't ironic, but it was like kind of a wake up call, because when we were there, we never usually go to the bay side, which is what this is. This is the bay side of what is called the Spit, and it's basically like a little tiny peninsula that kind of blocks the bay. And here in a second, you'll get to see why we chose this side. It was dangerous. There was, as my stepdad kept saying, high energy. And that's a really good way to put it, because the waves were out of control. Normally we have like anywhere from like 1 foot to like 3 foot waves, that crash in. These were like 6, 7 to 10 feet. Like they were 6, 7. You see what I did there? They were definitely way big. Model again, Drex and him were both fixated on something. I'm not exactly sure, but this is a better shot. So over with that white building, that's a hotel. In the far left background, that's the beach where the sneaker wave hit and took the family out. Now, apparently 2 of the 3 were rescued by like bystanders, but one of them got sucked out and didn't make it. So, and that's even on the bay side. We were trying to avoid that by being on the bay side, and that was still there. So, very crazy. But again, thank you, Reese, for being a tremendous model for me. Here's myself and Reese. Wifey took a picture from up top. If you look carefully off to the right-hand side, you might see a little pink something and a little like kind of fluffy mess of black and gray. That's actually his cousin, Drex's cousin, Roxy Dog. And she is a, what is she? God, I'm totally drawing a blank right now. I should know this. She's an Aussie Doodle. There you go. An Australian Shepherd crossed with a poodle. An Aussie Doodle. We were having fun. Drex was off on the left-hand side. You could see the red lead going up the hill up to the left-hand side. So they were definitely not having their playtime, but there was indeed lots of playtime. So this was a random picture my wife took. I thought it was actually pretty cool, but it also showed how far back she was and how far Drex likes to pull ahead. You can see Drex is like right in the middle there. That's my mom, Reese, and I. And then, all right, I was talking about playing. So here's another shot, a really nice, cool shot. It was a beautiful day. The bay was fairly calm on this side. However, the dogs got to play, as I mentioned. There was a lot of high energy. Julian's trying not to get taken out there. And hopefully it's not too loud. I apologize if it is. Comment in the chat if it's like way too loud. I try to adjust the volume, but I don't hear it coming through. I can only see the equalizer. Yes, exactly. And we talked about that. Like, it's often the people that don't have a lot of beach time that are a little bit negligent or unaware of the beach and the waves, right? Because crash, it'll go up and down, 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 and hit the same spot over and over and over again. And you think it's comfortable, and that's where its limits are, its maximum crashing is. But that's not the case at all. Sometimes it'll go 10, 12 feet past that. But yeah, so here's the other side. This is why we opted to not. And I'm not sure why the video is kind of like slow motioning as Reese slowly pulls up his pants that were falling down. But I mean, and it's kind of hard to see in the video, but I mean, it is crazy how, like, not only were the waves crashing in way high, but like, look how big those things are. And again, hard to tell because of the distance. But, I mean, most of those were 6, 7 feet tall. 6, 7, 6, 7. for that, huh? And then we found this little guy. Look at this puppers. Look at this little puppers. And again, my video playback is really like, it's acting like I've got it in like slow motion or something, which is not the case. It's just some sort of a playback issue that's happening. There's Roxy and Drexy. And then last but not least, here's the full shot. I think this one works a little bit better. Oh, you know what? I think I mapped the wrong button here, because this is the same one, isn't it? Because that was Reese pulling his pants up. But it's not playing back weird. Anyways, look at those waves. Look at those waves. This might be the one that ends really badly, and I will remove it if it is. Okay, it wasn't. So, fun fact about that video, I panned down at the very end, and that's where the video ended for you guys. But really, the video continued, and I swooped down onto the trail that we walked on, and then over to Drex, and I was like double timing, like watching the waves, barely watching the camera, just kind of centered him on the thing. He started doing some business. I felt like nobody needs to see that. So anyways, beach was awesome as always. Pretty lucky to have access to it, not only because it's close, but also because my mother lives over there, and she's got a nice house, loves hosting us, so it's always fun to go over there. And unfortunately, we basically left early because I wasn't feeling well, and because we had to get back before the pharmacies closed on Saturday. And yeah, it was more like a thrice. It was huge, dude. And it was just like that perfect moment of like, I don't even want to go into detail, but it was very vulgar. It was very vulgar. I'll just say that much. But yeah, all in all, awesome trip, and we'll probably do some more before the winter's over. A trice. Yeah, that's right. All right, next up, we went there for my mom's birthday. I mentioned that. And some of you have kind of seen this already, whether you're part of the Discord or maybe I sent it to you personally. Spidey asked, what's my favorite Arkham game? I've actually never played any of them, so I don't have one. Here we go, though. So bear with me. So we have a farmer's market, a Saturday market, whatever you want to call it, here in town. And we go often. There's a couple of plant booths that my wife is attracted to, so we always go there. Their food options are terrible down there. Otherwise, we'd be eating down there all the time, too. But they have some caramel corn and some other things that I enjoy. But we found a new booth, and the booth was called the Mushroom Daddies. And I was like, what's this? At first, I thought it was like, microdosing, like mushrooms for like psychotherapy and stuff. And I wasn't interested in that. I had a teenage and some early 20s where, I don't know if it was microdosing, but it was definitely not comfortable dosing. So I'm not into that stuff. I know a lot of people, some people that even frequent the chat that I know have had great experience with that. But that being said, I was curious and I started looking, and there was the most abstract, crazy mushrooms. There was like a bunch of small ones, right? Just like kind of single big cap, poppers. And then it transitioned into all these like shelves of all these different designs. And I was like, what is going on here? And the guy was not talking to anybody else. He was super interested in selling me on what he had. And so he broke it down. He was like, hey, my name's so-and-so, and we're the Mushroom Daddies, and we grow, I think it's Rashiki. I'm probably saying that wrong because I always get things wrong, but I believe Rashiki mushrooms. And they're not psycho, they don't cause any like hallucinations or anything like that. Not psychoactive, but they grow towards the light. Like, I guess not all mushrooms need light. He was kind of saying that some are they grow, anyways. But he was using the light to manipulate them. So like some of them had like, they start off on this base, this thick base. In fact, I'll show you right here. So that's a base, right? So that there's like this. It looks like an old meatloaf or something that's dried up, and it's just in these sacks. And the sacks get about maybe 2 feet tall, 18 inches, 2 feet tall, and each one is a little different because of how they grow. And he had a couple different styles of rashikis, and he would like manipulate them. He said he put them in the sun in the window, and they'd start straight up and they'd start growing, right? So that they'd have like this bow or bend in them, and then he'd turn it 90 or 180 degrees, and then it would like grow towards the sun again. So some of them were like zigzaggy, like all the way up until you got to the top. Some were a little bit more natural looking. Some actually looked like coral from the beach. That is a mushroom. So here's the base. And it sits on that. And that's the top. So now my mom living at the beach, we thought it'd be really cool for her to have something that looked like coral that wasn't coral, right? And Jillian always gets her plants, and she made a comment this last year, said, "Please don't get me any more homework. I go, I travel a lot. I'm not home. I always have somebody to water my plants. I don't want that obligation. Every time I get a gift, I don't want like the plants are cool, but I don't want any more homework." So we're like, all right, what are we going to get my mom? And then we ran into this, and it was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing. Look at that. Does that not just sort of resemble coral? Like crazy. And then, so we gave it to her. We actually forgot to take it to her. So when we went to the beach, we actually didn't have it. And I was like, but I'd taken pictures to show all my friends, these pictures you just saw. And I was like, so I'm going to show your husband. And she had no idea what it was. I just told her we forgot her gift, but I had pictures. And when I showed it to her husband, who was sitting at the table, right? Like he was like at the end and she was on the side, and I showed it to him and he was like, "Oh, wow, that is really cool." And my mom was like, "All right, everybody knows but me. I want to see it now." So I ended up going to show it to her. And she was like, "Oh, that's really cool." You could tell she was kind of like, "Oh, yeah, that's really cool. Like, I think it's cool, but I'm not sure." So last Friday, a week ago from today, she came into town and swung by here, and I was like, "Here you go." And she opened it up. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it really does look like coral. This is really cool. Oh my gosh, this." And she was like, you could tell she was really moved by it. She was like, "This is so thoughtful, so unique, and so out of like left field. I never in a million years would have thought of this." And we wouldn't have either if we wouldn't have gone to the Saturday market that day. And who knows what we would have got her? Probably another plant. But she said it's not a final resting place yet, but she found a spot by the window, which you can't really see what window it is or what the view is, but it actually looks out onto a golf course, and then the beach is right behind the golf course. So it gets a pretty cool view for a mushroom. But yes, definitely a very unique thing, and highly recommend the Mushroom Daddies. I don't think they have a website. They gave us a card, and I gave it to my mom, because I thought, my mom may want to like buy more or get them for friends, or maybe have them at the house. So I ended up not keeping it. But yeah, so Rashiki, Mike Lapedia is out there verifying my statements here. Appreciate it. And yes, Spidey, that is a mushroom. Cordyceps, yeah, that's another thing. It sort of looks like something out of The Last of Us, huh? It's pretty Halloween-esque in a way, but also like very unique. So I have a yard button here on my, but I don't have anything to show you. Usually every month from like spring to fall, I pretty much give you updates on our sunflowers, because we have that enormous, just beautiful wall of sunflowers every year that my wife and my mother-in-law put together. And this year, I gotta be quiet. Someone went out there and tore them all down because they didn't like the way they looked. Some of them were starting to, and they all got ripped up. So the birds usually feast all the way through November, but that's not happening this year. Birds are going to go hungry. So earlier I mentioned today was Doomsday, also Mushrooms Day. MF Doom, the rapper, again, who I'm wearing right here, he's notably known as the villain. He wears a mask. He's often referred to as your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, right? So like the person you like often has, and I'm not saying this because I like him and I want him to be popular. I'm saying this because he was so different, so unique, so His style is still like people try to imitate it all the time, and some actually do all right, but it's not for everybody. You know, rapping isn't for everybody to begin with, but like that, the complexity of his rhymes and the vocabulary that he used was just above average. I'm actually playing and listening to him right now in the back. That's that from Born. Uh, what is the name of that album? Boy, my brain, it's been a long day, you guys. I had to put up with BHU for like 5 hours today. You know, a couple shots from Jay, couple pokes from Kirsten too. I am spent. Um, but ultimately, big fan. And today they released a bunch of new merchandise. Now, as I mentioned, they partnered up with Mitchell and Ness, who makes a lot of memorabilia, merchandise for sports teams: football, baseball, basketball, hockey, all of them. Mitchell and Ness is one of the higher end collaborators that does a lot of stuff. I wasn't interested in any of the gear, but they did put out some reaction figures. They're like little super, like superheroes, like little minifigure, but action figures. I keep wanting to call them minifigures. But check this thing out. It actually comes like the old school sports stuff used to. You used to get like, I can't remember the name of them either. I was trying to think of it earlier. I should have Googled it. But there was like a whole line of like action stars, and it was like you could get like baseball and basketball and all these different. And I thought it was really cool. And it even comes with a card too. So like a baseball or a football card. And the ultimate figure is articulating, so his arms move. He comes with the microphone. He's got the New York Knicks jersey on that says Doom on it. It's pretty dope. My ninja, you don't get a say in this. You don't get any say in this. You show up and start blasting, bruh. People have been timed out for less. Ask Spidey. Starting lineup. There you go. Jay nailed it. My retro bro. Thank you for saving me on that one. And then, of course, this is the back of the card, too. So it says, like, a bunch of his, like, top songs that were out there. I just thought that was really cool. I thought you guys appreciate that. Now, it was a pre-order, and I had a meltdown because I didn't see it was a pre-order yet. And usually these things sell out in about 5 minutes. And I was at, like, minute 4 when I realized that the shop app that I would normally buy stuff with wouldn't work. And the other options, I didn't have my PayPal. I don't have a PayPal that I would use for that. I do have a PayPal, but not one that's connected to my bank in the way that I would want to process. And also, they had, what was the other one? It was like, was it Amazon Pay, Prime Pay or something? And then they had Google Pay. There was one other one. I don't remember what it was. And I was like, sweetie, could you please come up here? Because I had no way to. And so she came running up, and we ended up using Google Pay. And I was able to even use my own card. So everything went as normal. It was just a different way. But I got it in. I was like, yes! And I went to see if they had sold out yet, because there's been plenty of times where they've done a drop and I've bought something and I've gone back to the page and refreshed and they're sold out. Like sometimes of everything. Sometimes of all the merchandise, the records, the tapes. I'm telling you, like, he's got a big following. And then I saw it was a pre-order and it doesn't ship till November. I was like, what? Come on, November? That's a long time from now. So this will be the 3rd or 4th action figure set. They call them reaction figures. I think there's a copyright on action figures. So, but yes, I got timed out so much and inspired this one. That's funny, Spidey, because there's maybe some truth to that. That's actually really funny, dude. Thank you for that. So, we're getting kind of the end of my agenda. I see I got a message here. Oh yeah, raised must be. I don't know, or vice versa, or vice versa. Either you or yeah, I don't know. Time out. Watch out, Chacho. You might find yourself on the timeout list, bro. You know how that works. So real quick, I always like to mention that we do have merchandise, and we would love it if you support us. The website hasn't changed in a long time, and the button isn't working. Okay, it's giving me a big exclamation point saying no. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Yeah, we've had some custom stuff done for a couple people in those last month. I actually got another request to do another shirt in the next couple of days, so I appreciate all of you guys. Now, I can't explain it. Sometimes, not all the time, but especially if I'm live and a purchase gets made, it actually pops you up on the recent donation list up above there. Not always, but like if we're off stream, but a lot of the time it does. And it really helps support us as well as just getting the name out there too. So we got stickers, we got hoodies, we got all sorts of stuff. I'm trying to find I've got so much stuff, you guys. The Gamebreak layerage is out of control. It's all blocked into folders, but then when I go to the buttons settings, it's all in one big list. And there's probably 200, maybe 250 different things, from like a layer for my background, a layer for my, but I also have like, because it's a game break, I have January background, February background, March, and then I also have a logo to support each one of those. So each one of the backgrounds has a special logo for the top that matches the theme, and on and on and on. So, but just know that HTG merch is still alive and ticking, and it would, of course, love to hear any of your feedback or requests or anything like that. And look at that, Phantom's wearing the hoodie right now. Much love, Phantom, much love. And Justin his too. Let me ask, hey, Justin, are you wearing the hoodie or are you wearing like your snuggle bug? Because, so fun fact, Justin ordered a child-sized shirt for himself and got it. And I mean, you're a pretty slim-fitting guy to begin with, but like he put this shirt on and it was not the right size. It was one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen regarding HTG merch. So I appreciate that. No more pausing on YouTube. Good to hear. Good to hear. All right, so it's a secret. Not anymore. Man, I got a photo earlier. I wish someone wasn't extra sensitive about it because it's hilarious. Like they showed it to me because they thought it was hilarious. And then like I was like, "Oh, I'm going to show this on Gamebreak. Is that cool?" And they're like, "No, absolutely not." And I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "'Cause it's not okay." But it was actually really good. But I respect my friends' requests mostly, and I won't share it. All right, stream schedule. So I worked pretty hard on this, and I got nowhere. I'm not trying to put anybody at fault because that's not at all what I'm trying to do. But sometimes when you got multiple moving parts and you're trying to land on one solution for multiple people, there's finances involved, there's desire involved, there's tolerability involved, there's a lot of things. And as a result, I wasn't able to land on a new game for Tuesdays. We've got some ideas. We've been narrowing it down, but we don't have any. So Tuesday is wrong. And the rest of it should be fine, though. Right now, it's got no streams on Monday. As I've been telling you guys for a while, I'm going to start slowing it down for November, December. A lot of it has to do with family stuff. Some of it has to do with algorithm stuff for YouTube because YouTube hates me because I stream all the time and only a certain small fraction of people have the time or the desire to want to watch. And as a result, it totally takes me out of the picture on YouTube. So the less I stream, the better the channel does because when people search up my videos and they like the videos and they watch multiple videos, it tells YouTube that people want to see. When people show up for 30 seconds of a stream and then leave or don't show up at all, or they show up and they don't like it, it tells YouTube that you guys don't want to see it. And that, I know that's not the case. Well, mostly, but I mean, that's how it works. And so the more I stream and the community stays where it is, if I started getting 200, 300, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people watching the streams, it would change that. But right now with the numbers we're seeing, it actually hurts. So that's kind of part of the reason why I've been streaming on HTG TV too for the last year and a half or so. I tried to do most of the streaming over there so that the algorithm would feed back into the guide videos and sort of make us more discoverable and it sort of worked. But then I got tired of switching back and forth all the time because it was like Monday this, Tuesday that, Monday this again, then Tuesday that again, and back and forth, right? And so I ended up just doing a lot of streaming back on the main channel. And that's what we're going to keep doing for now, but we're going to slow it down. No Mondays. Tuesdays is going to be over on HTG TV. That game is really not going to be Firefighting Sim Ignite unless they drop another DLC in the next couple of days. Then we would play it. But right now, we just finished the DLC. We finished that up, so we're going to move on and play something else. Like I said, we got some games on tap, but the hardest difficulty is playing a game that supports 4 players that is not 100 years old or cost $100. Those are like the biggest hurdles because not everybody has the money to buy every game all the time. And I get that. And I respect that. I don't expect that. You know, and then not everybody wants to play every type of game. Some of those side-scrolling brawlers are really appealing to people. Well, some of them aren't. And you know, the last thing I want to do is put somebody in a situation where they're sort of forced into playing a game, even if it's free, forced into being there when they don't want to be, right? That's not the goal of Tuesday. Tuesday was sort of to bring everybody together, to get multiple personalities in the room at the same time and have fun. And sometimes it works out. Like firefighting, for the most part, I feel like that's we found some happiness and some joy there. Now we also found some frustration because some of the trophies weren't ringing off for people that weren't the host or just weren't ringing off at all. But ultimately, fun. Now Lego Party, that's a game for players that we all enjoy playing it, and I do until I start losing. So that being said, we're gonna continue to play Lego Party on Wednesdays as long as everybody's still on board. And if Halfway or Pig has to go and pick up his family, we'll work it out. But the numbers were terrible last time, like almost invisible. But we had a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that more people will catch on and play. Not necessarily play, but watch us play. And, you know, hopefully my win streak will continue. I mean, I don't know if we'll rock it till platinum because, like, you have to play, like, 1,932 mini games. So far in the 2 streams, I've played 5% of those. I don't, the number's probably somewhere between 60 and 85 mini games. So, I mean, that would take a long time. But playing off stream, you know, Boo and I played a little bit. Jay says he's still on board. Awesome. You know, so we'll play that for another week or 2, and then we'll see what happens. I'm contemplating. I got a couple things on the table right now that I want to work out. Win streak. But you know, we'll likely keep that around for at least another 2 weeks or so. Thursdays are always my day off. That used to be a family day. It just has continued to be a day off for me. And I don't mind it. And then Friday, right now, is Power Wash Sim 2. I'm going to be kind of on the fence about playing next week. It might be a shorter stream, or we might wait until they patch it just because of how much trouble we were having. You know, if everybody gets caught up and is on the same page, we might try switching some hosts and stuff. But I definitely don't want to mess up my progress or anybody else's progress by jumping back and forth and whatnot. I don't want to waste a lot of time, too, for everybody trying to get money. Right. I mean, some of us probably don't care as much as others, but I mean, I don't necessarily want to spend a whole bunch of time doing the same missions over and over and over and over and over if we're not getting paid or, you know. Plus, it's got to be kind of annoying as a viewer to watch the same things over and over. I'm guessing. I don't know. And then Saturdays are always a family day, and Sundays, you got some options coming up. We do have one more week of Lego Avengers, but Anna and I are confident that I will finish it this week, even if I have to go, 3 hours ish or whatever. Ultimately, we got some voting to do after that. So once we finish that, I'll put up a vote, and so we'll have Lego Movie, Lego Hobbit, Lego Jurassic, and Lego The Force Awakens. Those are going to be the 4 choices. Now, the vote is not up yet, but it will be soon. Somebody tell that gnome to shut up. Somebody tell that gnome to shut his mouth. Yeah, no. Oh, with the assist. Let's go. That was good. I didn't plan that. That was actually just organic, and I love it.
What's up?
None. What's up?
Oh, I thought he was on mic.
No, he's right here. He's talking trash to me, saying I don't have abilities. It's gonna take days. Yeah, I know. The nom. The nom. The nerve of the nom. But yeah, so schedule complete. Ultimately, that's all I had for today. Like I said, I was going to keep it short and sweet. The month was pretty boring. I was sick for a good 10 days of it. We went to the beach for a couple days of it. We did play Lego Dimensions. I saw somebody ask, is Lego Dimensions working? Yes, it worked fine for me. I was able to get all the way to 1016. Anna played through on her Wii U, which, Anna, can you confirm for me? Did you have all of the stuff downloaded already, or were you able to actually download stuff that you didn't have? I know you were able to finish it and get 100% and get the 1016 gold bricks. Congrats. Everybody give Anna a round of applause, because that's not, them Sonic races are desire killers. I mean, you want to try to get to the end, but then you try to, no. He 100% agreed with me once you explain it. Who did? Reese? Yeah, Dimensions was a big thing. We did get that done. It was a lot of fun, a lot of hard work. Big shout out to Jay for all of his help and guidance through that. I would have been able to do it, but it would have taken me probably twice as long. Like willy-nilly, just going through, trying to find things, remember things. Yeah, forgetting things. My lack of desire to use the gold brick detectors and the mini kit detectors, it's sort of like an ego thing for me. Like that's what I do. I show you guys where they are. I don't need to be shown where they are. I mean, I do, because I have guide writers that do it, but I get my information in a different way, because a lot of those brick detectors will send you on a goose chase, send you on a path that, like it is right there as far as the level goes, because there's a wall there, and on the other side of the wall but to get to there, sometimes you got to go all the way up over here and then over here, or so like Lego Pirates was the worst of that. I will say that. I don't know if all of them are really that bad, but Lego Pirates really messed me up, and so I try not to use those. But and in this case, Jay was my info. I didn't need no stupid detectors. I had a pig that showed me the way. Just like hunting truffles, right? Oh boy. So, World Series, it's about to start, right? I think the game starts in like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. Where's everybody at? Everybody happy with their teams? Anybody like, who's rooting for Blue Jays? Who's rooting for the Lakers, the Dodgers, the La Dodgers? I don't really have a dog in the race. I've sort of sided with BHU, though, because he flaps in my ear almost constantly about the Blue Jays. Go Blue Jays, go Blue Jays. I get texts all the time, go Blue Jays. So I've kind of started rooting for the Blue Jays, and then ironically, they're winning. So Anna's not watching. Spidey says, go Oilers. Is that the foosball? Nom says, go Boo Jays. Dude, that's... Somebody time him out, dude. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No flop top teams. Oh, come on, bruh. Don't do them dirty like that. Don't do them dirty like that. Speaking of flop top, there's actually supposed to be a new episode of South Park that airs tonight. I'm looking to see. No, I don't have any information updates on that. It's supposed to be pretty funny. I mean, I don't know. Some people like South Park, some people don't. Some people used to like South Park, but don't like the way it's going right now. That's understandable, I guess. But I find it all funny. I'm not a religious watcher, but this season, just how current they've been and how things, it's been pretty funny. I don't think you got any Oiler fans in here, bruh. It started at 5, so it's already on? Really? Well, I appreciate y'all being here. On that note, you guys got any questions for me or anything? I can wrap this up right now. I got a Blazer game about to start too, and it's NBA Cup night. Is Ben out there? Ben, if you're out there listening, your Nuggies are going down tonight, bro. Your Nuggies are going down. Nah, probably not. I thought it was really funny, though. So, we got a new player this year. Anna with a gifted membership. Let's go! Philip, congrats. The Blazers got a new player in the draft this year. He's actually from China. And his game has been noted to be a lot like Jokic, who is a Serbian player who plays for the Denver Nuggets. So 2 international players, right? That they have that connection, playing in the NBA. and their style of play has been notably the same. Now, Jokic has been around for a long time, tried and true, one of the best players, especially one of the best bigs to ever play the game. Hall of Famer for sure. Won MVP, 2-3 years in a row now. Ultimately, like, one of the best, right? So to be compared to him is pretty amazing. And they call him the Chinese Jokic. That's like a underdog, unofficial nickname, and it's because he passes behind the back, over the shoulder, through. He's got some really good IQ when it comes to basketball. Tonight's game, they always like in the graphics when they show on TV or on the internet or wherever, they usually have like certain info, like the teams that are playing, the time, the places you can watch or listen, and then they'll usually have the star players, right? And so tonight we're playing Denver, and they put Jokic there. And our new guy has only played about 15 minutes of total basketball so he has not played any. And you could tell he's a little out of place. He actually doesn't speak fluent English, so he has a translator. So there's a lot of like disconnect and difficulties trying to explain. Like, he'll foul somebody, and he'll look over, and he'll be like, was that on me? And he'll look at his translator like, did I do what did I do? Because the ref will tell him, hey, you slapped him on the hand or whatever, but he doesn't understand a lot of the English. Now, he's been learning a lot, and I guess he's progressing pretty good, but I just thought it was really funny that tonight's pictures, they used Jokic because he's their star, and they put the Chinese Jokic on there too, Yang, who hasn't played but like I said, like 20 minutes, 25 minutes the whole season. I mean, we've only played 5 games, but games are 48 minutes. Most players play anywhere between 20 and 40 minutes, depending on the usage of the coach. Coaches really decide all that stuff, and depending on how deep they want to go, how confident they are in their bench, sometimes they'll play players 40, 42 minutes, right? Those positions only have a 5-minute break or a 4-minute break of the whole game. So, and in this case, that's not really the case, but he's just not quite ready for the league yet, not to be playing heavy minutes. So I just thought, I mean, it was almost like a joke to me. Like, you really got Jokic there? Come on. And yes, he is. He's 7'2" or 7'3", depending on where you look. Tall dude for sure. Which USA are you American from? Is that a real question? And if so, could you elaborate a little bit? How to get the cool moving pumpkins? I told you, magic, bro. Toronto Maple Leaf. Hey, that's cool. That's BHU, who's rooting for the Blue Jays, who I mentioned a few minutes ago. He's definitely more of a hockey fan than he is a baseball fan. But he's followed the Blue Jays most of his life because he's lived in that area. He lives in Ontario, which is fairly close to Toronto. Closer than me, anyways. And so, yeah, he's definitely more of a Maple Leaf fan. I'm guessing state in the United States. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I am in Oregon, Salem, Oregon. It probably says somewhere on the stream info, like by the title and stuff. Probably says Salem, Oregon. I put that there every time. I don't know how it views, and depending on if you're on an iPad, an iPhone, an Android phone, like the way that things display are always a little different, whether you're on TV or PC. The blue guy from I'm Blue, using your 12-year-old videos of Lego Hobbit minigames. Awesome, man. Appreciate that. We might be revisiting that. It's been 12 years since I played Lego Hobbit. That's going to be one of the voting choices for the next Sunday Lego game. And, I don't really care what you guys choose. I'm down to play them all. But, that's been a long time since I played that one. But Lego Movie, I think, is like 13 years, 12 and a half, 13 years. So, because Lego Movie, if you look at the schedule, it's actually in the top left, which I think I did them by, like, chronologically for how long it's been. So it would have been, top left, one, furthest back, top right, second furthest back, bottom left, third. And Num, your box is gone. I made sure to get rid of the box this time. I know that really bothered you last time. Well, hold on, Scrap Metal. You'll get a chance to vote soon enough. I plan on finishing Lego Avengers on Sunday, and we should be done, and then put the vote up sometime Sunday evening, afternoonish, and then it'll be for 2 weeks, basically 13 days, because I'm going to skip a Sunday and take a Sunday off. And then the following Saturday, like late night, I will decide. I don't have like a set time, but it's usually around 8, 9 o'clock. I decide, and it's usually decided long before that anyway. So there's usually one game that takes off with like a 40, 45%, while the other ones are like, 20, 19, 10 or whatever. So Paige says Warhammer. Unfortunately, I haven't made a Lego Warhammer yet. Maybe they will someday. A lot of people are kind of hyped right now. You guys probably saw their announcement that the couple sets got leaked this month, and that turned out to a full official announcements. One of them was the Goonies ship. Well, that one looks pretty cool. Was it Dr. Cobblepot's ship? I can't remember the name of it. I should know. We were just on it the other day in Lego Dimensions. But they also just announced a Lego Power Rangers set. I was too old to get into Power Rangers. Like, they came to America when I was like 14, 15, 16, somewhere in that era. My little brothers grew up with them, but I'm also 12 years older than my younger brother, and 14 to my youngest brother. So definitely a pretty big difference. But yeah, there's like 5 minifigs and a bunch of stuff I was reading. It looks pretty cool. Let's see here. Honestly, I'm putting that all away for a while. What? Putting they gotta mention round 5. No. Although I still haven't put them away, Jay. I still want to sit down and talk to you about that. And it's not that I'm asking you for work or more time, but just like pointing me in the right direction, if you know. And if you remember what we talked about, you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, we can talk about it later. So yeah, for example, year 1 superhero, year 2 year 3. What was the first one? The Miracle TT game managed to make Lego Dimensions 2. Yeah, that would be amazing. Right now, I know that their full focus is on finishing up Lego Legacy of the Dark Knight, Lego Batman. Did you guys see too? They announced today that there is a pirate version of Batman. There's a pirate Batman as one of the outfits you can wear. It's my understanding too, and don't quote me on this, but it's my understanding that there are 7 characters that you get to play as. They all have a ton of suits, but I don't think the suits have any effect on gameplay. I don't think they change anything. Like, you'd think that like Robin would have like Robin, and then there'd be like the Robin acrobat suit, right? And you could be, I think Robin could just be an acrobat in whatever situation, whether he's wearing like the 1940s costume or the whatever. So, but a pirate Batman? What the? Arr. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I've actually pushed it all the way to an hour now. Did you ever find your Slimer? No. So we actually just talked about this, and this is funny, too. It's funny you mentioned that, because earlier today, we were talking about it. My wife was working from home, and my mother-in-law was in the kitchen, and we were all in the kitchen. And I don't even remember what was said, but oh yeah, my mother-in-law, we got the Lego catalog in the mail, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, there's some really cool stuff in here," and she busted it out and was like showing me all this stuff that she thought was cool, and we were like, "Yeah, look at this, and look at this, and look at this," and so we started talking. She goes, "Did you ever find those figures that you were looking for that game?" And I go, "No," and my wife goes, "I know where they are," and I go, "You do?" She goes, "Yeah, I know exactly where they are," and I go, "Where are they?" And she goes, "They're in my great-grandfather's war chest out in the garage in between the tool bench and our big brown canisters." And I go, no, they're not. She goes, "Yes, they are. I specifically remember putting them there." I go, "You said that 2 summers ago when we tore all that stuff apart and got that chest out from in between and opened it, and there was stupid Nerf guns in it from Reese's childhood, not Lego Dimension." She goes, "Really?" "No, we didn't." I go, "Yes, we did." So we had like this standoff about like, did we do? I know I didn't dream it. And I know this because we had to shift some stuff aside. And when we did it, I actually bumped our fridge that's been out there for like forever, right? 20 plus years. And somehow the way the fridge was sitting and how it's sitting now, it's put some stress on it, and it vibrates now. And we have, for some reason, we have tons of boxes of like nothing. We have foam pads, right? Foam pads for like the backyard, not the backyard, but like our back deck. For the summertime, we used to have a pool. We put them all around, like so it wasn't hot, and you didn't have to get slivers from the deck and stuff. We have all these foam pads. But instead of putting those on the fridge that wouldn't vibrate, we have these like big pots and pans and like these. I've brought it up a bunch of times. I've never gotten anywhere with it. But like it's right next to Reese's room. Like Reese has a wall in his room that the fridge is right on, and it's anytime the fridge is running, it's vibrating and it's so loud and annoying. But that shifted. For some reason it didn't do that. And we like bumped into it and like had to slide the fridge a little bit. And when we slid the fridge, something with the angle, it changed it. And so yeah, anyways. Yappity yap, don't talk back. Yeah, so anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your night and a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday, which is actually just a blink of an eye away, and we'll finish up Lego Marvel Avengers. And good luck to your team tonight, whichever side you're rooting for. And of course, go Blazers. They've been playing pretty well, and I don't want to jinx them. It's really early in the season. They played some pretty tough teams. And it's fun to watch regardless. So I'm going to have a good time. Blazers are coming on in about 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. And actually, it's just over an hour because they start at 7 tonight. I was thinking 6:30, but yeah, so big time shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out, watching previous and future videos. It means a lot. I appreciate my little community, or our little community that we've created. And, most of you anyways, you know who you are, Nom. Oh boy. And Jay, I'll be talking to you probably tomorrow about what we talked about before. I know that sounds like a real B-rad type of thing to say, but yeah, I just don't want to talk too much because I don't want to make any promises that I don't follow through on, because if we find that there's only one or two things that really are worth it, I'm not going to do anything. If we find like 20 or 25 or 30, I'll probably do something. So again, thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Oh, psych! You thought I was going to get out of here without Patreon updates. I almost did, actually. Real quick, shout out to all my Patreon supporters who have kept this channel afloat since day one. Most of these guys have forgotten about their dedication and their donations. I know one of them in the chat certainly has. But appreciate you guys. These are all the $5 and up supporters that we've had. If you don't know about patreon.com/HappyThumbsGaming, it's essentially a place that you can support me and the channel directly. YouTube has a pretty unfair split for their ad revenue and their super chats and things like that. Basically, it's a 60-40 split. It used to be 50-50. They've recently changed it to 60-40. And 60 goes to me and 40. So when you see a super chat for $1, I get 40 or 60 cents of that versus the dollar. So it's different split. So Patreon is a way, a little less cut. So some people have supported, some people have been extremely generous, $100+ a month. And if they were doing that on YouTube would be getting 50-ish of that a month, right? So big time shout out to all the people at $5 and up. And I do have a couple at $10 and up too. Starting off with, you know him as a famous guide writer, Dougie Fresh 613. Big time shout out to Douglas Wright for supporting Happy Thumbs Gaming as long as he has at the $10 and up tier. Appreciate you, bro. Hope all is well with you and fatherhood and all of that. It'd be cool to reach out and chat at some point. I know you've been pretty busy. I know our schedules don't really line up due to the time difference and the schedules, but let's make some time. Let's hang out. Let's chat it up. Let's play some Fortnite or something. I know you're really good at Fortnite. It make me look terrible, but it'd be fun to do because I'm probably going to be playing some Fortnite in the next couple weeks when they switch over to The Simpsons. The Simpsons. Next up, we got Michael Karsberg. I know we've used this one before, but Doom is the magic word. Michael usually watches this at a different time due to the time zone difference, and usually shows his support by typing in a special word or something I've said. So we kind of made it a thing now. So Doom is October. It's Doomsday today. So big time thanks for your support over the years, and hope all is well with you. Next up, we got our vacation friend who's currently on vacation right now, April White. much. Thank you so much for your support, April. Much love. I hope you're having a good time up in, well, you know where you are. And, you know, when you get back, send me an email. Tell me all about it. And last but not least, we've got Bonnie Miller. Bonnie Miller. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, though? Thank you so much, Bonnie, for your support. Much love. And, you know, if you guys decide that you want to contribute and do something beyond watching, which is all I ever ask, you know, Patreon is an option. Obviously, super chats, super memberships are a good way, too, because portions of that goes to me, portion of it goes to YouTube, and somebody else gets the benefit of the membership, or you do, one of the two. So, yeah. All in all, thank you so much, guys. And that's going to go ahead and do it for now. You guys know the drill. Head on over to any of our social medias. If you haven't already, please check out HappyThumbsGaming.com. Have a safe and wonderful Halloween, World Series, and all that. And big time shout out to Spidey for a last-minute membership dono. Thank you, broski. As always, until next time, slap.